Hello Scrubs, it's the scrubbiest Joker made on YouTube or anywhere else for that matter. It's Rosie. Well, let's go over the trait again. Now that I have a lot more experiences with it, now that I have a lot better experience with Joker's trait, I think it's time for, I don't want to say a redo, more of a continuation, because I didn't have like a lot of experience with it before. And now I do. So let's talk about how it's holding up. If you recall from my first one, which got a random if you recall from my first one, I said it was still gonna be too slow. That's a big issue. The power up it's still slow, and that can be a pain in the ass. Again, it's been spammers. Against more controlled zoners, the trait's working rather well. I'd say, like, Harley Quinn, it's working rather well. Green Arrow, I've used it. I haven't... All the Green Arrows I've played have been significantly better than me since the trait showed up, so I can't really say... But I have taken a few games off of them with it, so... Do i.e. what you will with that one. I haven't played a Green Arrow on my level, let's just say that. So the trait's working against Harley, it's working against Green Arrow, IMO, it's working against Superman, it's working against Red Hood. There are some matchups where this trait is coming in real handy. Just the more control, like Joker himself, it's okay against. Just because, like, if the zoner's gimmick is not to spam and clutter the stage up with 5 million projectiles, and it's more of like a controlled game where they're like kind of more jack of all trades, the trait is working because like we have enough time, and then like meter burn gun gives us a lot of time to put it up, which can be good, and we even can get like 1 or 2 dash-ins off of it. And so like Superman's like only tools the zoner is 2 laser moves, which like they can't be out at the same time, so he's not cluttering the stage up with shit, so it's okay. Fate and Starfire, this trait's useless against, just because they clutter the stage up with shit and we have no time to get it off. And if we hit a meter burn gunshot, why on earth will we want to get the trait off? We need to get in, because we can't stop them from doing anything. Because the thing about level 3 trait right now, this is where the other thing that it's too hard to get, so we can't really like sit here. We can't stall the match out because it's just too hard to get. And the thing about it being too hard to get is like they know we have to reset it again. Once, like, the zoners know we have to reset that trait as soon as it starts getting toward the bottom. So they have no reason to, especially if they have the life lead. They know we still have to get in. We still need to come in. They have no reason to come in against us right now, because all they gotta do is just keep spamming because we can't get in, and then we have to reset and bam, we're taking more projectiles to the face. Like, this doesn't advance the game forward against, like, spammy types of zoners. Actual legit zoners like fucking Fate and Starfire, who don't have much when it comes to normals, but their gimmick is they clutter the stage up with shit. We can't do anything because our approach is still god-awful. So, the trait's too slow. So that means I know now what we have to do with it. The very least we could do, we have to give it the buff where if you meter burn it, it takes us straight to 3. We have to. It's gonna be non-viable it's still not viable against Fate, especially Fate. Starfire, you have a little more room to breathe, but I get the Starfire I played was significantly better than me as well. So still not knowing what to do there. But Fate, like, I actually took a game off this Fate, so I know he wasn't as better than me as the Starfire was. But, I would find myself just trying to still just rush in, because the Fate knows, again, the Fate knows that as soon as we have to reset, we're fucked. And that's still a giant issue. And again, if you could do like a meter burn version that gets you straight to 3 and it resets the counter, that's another thing. It needs to, because like if you keep pressing it, the meter goes away. if we reset it with the meter, like the meter needs to reset that as well. We just need to be able to stay in the trait the whole fucking match. If we, especially because even level 1 can be a fucking liability with that lag against those characters. So that's still a huge problem I'm finding with it against zoners that club the stage up with shit. Against people, against more controlled characters like Cold, it's fine. Just more controlled characters, it's fine. It's fine. Fine as in it's passable. It's still not like good. But like we have to give it the buff where meter burns straight to 3. We have to if we want this idea to work. And I still argue we need that health buff. We just need it. If we were on 3 and maybe you don't have to give them these buffs together. Maybe that might be a little too broke. If you give him like a health buff on level 3 and then we can meter burn go straight there, that might be a little stupid. I mean, the character would very much benefit from that. But I still argue we need health buff. If we're on 3 and we're getting health for everything we block, zoners will stop shooting. And if we had, I just think that this trait isn't even viable against Rushdown, so that we're not going to be using it against them. So it's not like we'd be just, oh, look at this. And like you can even, I mean, you're the fucking programmers. You can make it so it only does that with projectiles. So that way we can't get health back if we're getting hit by Rushdown, if we're getting normals blocked. You can make it so that doesn't happen. But level 3, if we get hit by a projectile and we block it, we should get a 2x health buff from the chip we take on level 1. We should get a 2x health buff from the chip that we take without the trait activated. You take that amount of chip, exit by 2, and then restore it to our health. Zoners would stop spamming immediately. And that's what we need to do to help get this character in their face. Because, like, his normals are bad. I get it. I don't want the normals buff. That's fine. We have bad normals. That's a thing Joker's gonna have. That's fine. But this trait, while it's improved, like I said in the first one, we still got some issues with it. And it's not done yet. So, I hope we get more balance patches. But again, if that's the last one, we'll just have to suck it up. But if we're getting 3 more, I don't think we are certainly not done yet. The trait's still in its like beta phase right now. We're certainly not done yet. We need the trait, we need the meter burn buff, and we certainly need the meter burn buff. Because like that's the thing. If we got the meter burn buff, we debatably wouldn't even need the health restoration buff, because then we could keep the whole game at level 3, and then they couldn't, because like the zoners, they couldn't advance their win condition if we're blocking all their shit. Because that's the thing. I have no problem blocking all of their stuff. It's not like they do anything too confusing. We need something that stalls out their win condition. That's what I'm trying to get at here. If we could meter burn level 3 and then stay with no chip the whole game, they wouldn't be advancing their win condition by smacking us. They wouldn't, because like that's the thing. They don't care. The game is not advancing forward. Like there's a lot of points, and Jokers will know what I'm talking about, where you're trying to like zone somebody, and they'll be like sitting there and like crouched, and it's like we're chucking laughing gas at them high and low, and they're just sitting there taking it. And I'm sitting here going, okay, what do you think I'm gonna do? Stop? You're not advancing the game. Like I'm the one zoning right now, and you're playing Flash. You have to advance the game. I'm gonna keep letting Chip do its thing because you have to advance the game. You're the Flash. You're the one who's trying to get in. I will do as much damage to you as I can while you sit there. Usually very novice players will be the ones sitting there, so it doesn't happen too often. But you know, just fucking like if we could sit here though in Chip, like in level 3, and just sit here, I don't know, keep walking backwards or crouch, just, you know, just depend on high-low projectiles respectively, the zoners wouldn't advance their win condition. Which, I mean, some could, I guess, like Green Arrow can mix up his stuff. But, like, overall, their win condition would be horribly slowed down. And right now, it's just still not, because all they have to do is wait until that meter goes away, and then we're fucked again. But if we could, like, because like level 3 still is good after the first reset. It's really slow. You press it again. It's still, that regeneration is still all right. So we would have to burn meter every single time. But now after this one, it starts becoming like too fast. So we're not getting anything off of it anymore. So if we could meter burn it now, and then look at that, we're back again. We can't stall the game out right now. The trait would work if it was like if we could stall the game out. That's what the 2 buffs would do. If we could go straight to level 3, it would help stall the match out. Or if we got a health restoration buff, it would stall the game out completely, and the zoner would stop spamming immediately. Spammers still annihilate Joker. Is the point here? Just spam. If you see this character, just spam. He can't do anything about it. He has like one counter zoning tool that's a high. His mid, another thing about him that needs buff, this mid is trash. High laughing gas is really becoming a liability as you play the game. It's way too slow. This arc is very situational. If you were to replace this with Crowbar Fling, we'd go even with Green Arrow, and I highly mean that. Because we can't. Joker's counter zoning is very, very weak right now. He has it. He has some. Like his gunshot. If his gun held, make his gunshot fucking mid. Make this. Here's what you do. You make gunshot a mid, and you make this a fucking overhead. That would fix this move, because that means we could do fucking like this shit. We could do like that kind of crap right there. It would be like, well, they can duck it. It would be very situational. Just you could do it if you could have like a ranged overhead low, or at least make the explosion an overhead. Because then you could like overhead low. That would be an overhead low. Or well, I don't think that's the best aim. But like maybe this, it would add to his corner game a little bit. If you had that as an overhead, but it's not an overhead, so it's still bad. But like he has no fast mid, and it's like his zoning would be too good. His zoning's just not good right now. Why would it be too good? I don't think if you make gunshot mid, Joker goes up the tier list at all. Like I don't like. I guess he could apply a lot more pressure with it, but. Okay, maybe not gunshot. Gunshot might be too good, but this mid has like Crowbar Fling. That's perfect. Replace high laughing gas with Crowbar Fling, please. This move right here is trash. It's getting worse and worse and worse because we can't pressure anybody when they're crouching, because like if we could pressure with Crowbar Fling from here, but this move is just god awful, so bad. So like that's like this trait does nothing to affect the zoner's win condition. That's the main point I'm trying to make. Now it affects like jack of all trades win condition, like Superman here. It does really well right now against laser spams because you block a laser, set up a ha. It does really well in that respect. You block a laser, set a ha. Red Hood, it does really well against Red Hood, but those characters aren't like fully zoners. I think the best fully zoner it does well against is Harley, but even Harley has some fucking normal dirt. She has more normal dirt than like Fate does. Like it does well against the jack of all trades type zoners. If they're like, I don't know, it still sucks against true zoners. But against characters that aren't true zoners, I haven't played a Green Lantern yet, but I imagine it does okay against him. But just kind of more jack of all trades it does well against. But true zoners, it's still worthless. I've suggested the buffs. We need at least one of them, because right now we're still taking it in the dick just too hard. And in fact, sometimes it even like makes our approach worse because we're trying to set it up and then they just smack us. So overall, it's still good because it's not good. It's still just necessary. But it makes some MUs really not as hard. But others it just still doesn't affect. So again, not done yet. I'd like to see it buffed again in the future. You know the 2 buffs I'd recommend to it. It's not done yet. Let's just say that. All right, still trying to be optimistic though. Hopefully we'll get something else to it, but right now it's still bad.